Now we get DarkFalz versus Vincent, kind of a grudge match in the Z1 community. The first game between these two runners saw Vincent take it, so DarkFalz is going to have to make it a interesting matchup here. I think he's going to have to win by about 500-600 seconds. So we'll see if he's able to pull that off. I'm Fury. Joining me out of the frying pan into the fire, so to speak, is Moonrisen. Moonrisen, first off, GG, sir, and second off, what do we think's happening here? I mean, we got Darkness and Wizrobes on the overworld, so the dungeon's got to be a little bit easy.
Well, as evidenced by Vincent getting taken down by the Armos there, the overworld in the early game, as DarkFalz finds a sword real quick, is oh wow, wait, that was in Casino Corner, and yeah, early overworld, spicy, difficult, and not quite fun. Later, you'll love it.
So I'll give you the exact margin as it becomes more important here. For now, what's really important is just starting to solve this overworld. We're going to have some potential overworld blocks, depending on whether or not it's the white sword or not. We're going to have a little bit of a mixed quest first overworld, so in this tournament there's a lot more recorder and power bracelet spots that are available on the overworld to hide dungeons and other important things. Looks like DarkFalz has about got the northeast corner here cleared out, and Vincent will make quick work of that as well, I think. As you probably are already aware, the heart container is forced there, so DarkFalz gets heart container number 4 and promptly gets greeted by a Wizrobe on what I consider to be a death staircase, as we have a death Armos screen over at the Blue Ring shop normally. Here, on that staircase in particular, it's always got a bad spawn pattern, so you try to avoid going north on that when possible, but he was trying to cut the corner where the Wizrobe said no.
And then we had that in the previous race even, so yeah, I know that feeling. And Vincent finds a wooden sword at Casino Corner. Probably thinks he's in pretty good shape considering it's in the 4-minute. It's at the 4-minute mark, and he's already got the sword. But DarkFalz did beat him to it.
Yeah, I don't think that's really going to be a big part of what makes or breaks the win in this seed. It's just one of those where you're happy to see both runners on a fairly even playing field as far as their wood sword time. Nobody's got to get up there at 15 or 20 minutes and be 15 minutes behind their opponent. So it's a bit of an interesting strategy on what to do in a sorted tournament, as we've had a lot of swordless play the last month or two. Both of these runners were in that tournament as well. The couple things that are going to change between the tournaments is that obviously you're getting a sword, so you get earlier combat. But now you have to make that decision on where to go first. Do you still go to a small dungeon first, or are you worried about keys blocking your way? And sometimes we see runners now that we have this easier combat going into a room or a high density level as far as room count goes, looking for those resources on the floor. Alternatively, you could just stay on the overworld for quite some time, but this specific seed probably not the best time to do that.
Yeah, honestly, I think these two racers are experienced enough that they might opt to go towards the smaller dungeons first, if they find them, of course.
Yeah, the big problem area with that is usually level 1's kind of a no-go as far as keys. So that does change up a little bit of the decision-making. Will you just go into the first dungeon you see? Will you kind of poke around, do a, as we call Rick 6, or go into like 5 or 6 open rooms at the start of a dungeon, make sure there isn't a free Triforce or an item? Or do you just kind of bail on it and go for the smaller dungeons and hope that it's not so linear and key blocked?
At least several strategies that do work. I can personally attest to more than one of these working for me, even. Medium secret of 36. You like to see that if you're a runner.
Yeah, at this point, thanks to the handful of deaths on the overworld by Dark, the wood sword advantage for whatever that time frame was is probably gone a little bit. So we're to the point now where both runners have kind of equaled as far as their information is concerned. So now it's just a question of will they divert once they get into this forest area, or will they go the same way? And that'll kind of tell who has the upper hand. Is if they go the same way, they'll probably run at the same dungeons at the same time.
Very true. DarkFalz stumbling upon a potion shop. We'll see a little later what those prices are.
So Vincent's going to do the tree clip to make sure that spot doesn't exist, sees that it does not, and it looks like there will not be any early... Well, the moment I say that, Vincent's got to still go this direction, so we'll see if he ends up going down to the coast, where I believe that is level 5.
That looks like a 5 to me, unless that might be level 3.
We're going to find out. It's either a segmented 3, or we're going to have an early item here, or it's going to be a transport. If it's transport, I'll go ahead and claim 5 and move on.
Level 3 or level 5, DarkFalz has got to be feeling pretty good about that early recorder.
Yep, can confirm it is level 5. Smilefire's in the background tracking for us, so recorder in 5, it's vanilla location. And this compass will point us in the right direction. Looks like we are kind of heading that way already, so DarkFalz probably will keep going. As we find, the white sword item is the ladder. It is the river cave by Vanilla Start, so that's a nice find for Vincent. Unfortunately, 4 hearts is not quite enough, so he'll have to make the return.
How much that heart container that DarkFalz just found might really be an important one. Additional 33.3% chances. Wow, that is an absolute clutch key if DarkFalz chooses to go straight for the Triforce. That noting, we do not have a poverty seed here tonight. 148 rupee large secret.
Yep, and a level 2 sighting looked like it was in the Deadwoods, the second quest cave. Tree.
Yeah, the triangle trees.
So we'll see if level 2 has a free item in it. Level 5 obviously having quite a nice item early on.
The 9 or 10 recorder spots in second quest. You're gonna love to see that because there is a forced overworld block somewhere in this seed.
Yep, and we now know that will be a required overworld block as the white sword item was found, so the rare case in which it wouldn't be is now off the table. And we have, I believe in mixed, it is up to 11, up to 7, and 2 as far as the overworld blocks. 11 recorder, 7 power bracelets, and 2 raft. But the only number we're guaranteed on is, of course, the raft locations.
Look at that. DarkFalz finding the knowledge that red Gorillas go down in one hit.
Now the important question, can we bomb down? And it looks like we can, so as long as this isn't a boss or anything really difficult, we'll be alright. It'll take a little bit of time, but this is still a fairly easy room to clear, so just gotta be careful not to get eaten twice.
Yeah, it is time consuming. Those lights could have anywhere from 7 to 11 HP in this flag set. But nice work with the candle there to score multiple hits, and this should be pretty routine here for DarkFalz to get the first Triforce of the day.
It does look like they rolled a little bit up. There's always a decision to make whether or not you actually clear the Triforce if you get an early item, but we got the compass so early we didn't have to clear a whole bunch of extra rooms to get there. Meanwhile, Vincent is in level 2 trying to bomb some of these lakes, trying to get their health down quicker because he's got BMOS statues in the corner, and those can be a little frustrating to deal with. If he had more health to play with, he could choose a different strategy. You just get eaten by one of the lakes, and you can sit inside there until that one gets killed off. So he could have opted into bombing the lakes that came by and bombing his own lake at the same time. So that is another strategy you can utilize. Unfortunately, had to burn a key just to save the room with as few likes as it had left.
Still got to be careful. One half a heart left, and those enemies will not play nice. Those Gyptos, they still do 2 hearts damage.
Nice map, so he'll be able to see where he can go in this dungeon, and it looks like he's gotten a lot of the lower portion of this dungeon taken care of. Going to take the health refill. Unfortunately, that means that like room will come back in full. But there's only one room getting blocked by it, so as long as there's no item drop in there, I didn't see if it had a floor standing item when he walked in there, but as long as that's not the item location, he should be safe to continue onward towards the northern part of this dungeon, or he might opt out if it was a key block or something. Instead, he's pirouetting. Meanwhile, we have DarkFalz in 6.
Level 6, usually a chonky little boy, as we like to put it, but as we saw in previous rates in a doubleheader, that isn't always the case.
Now, the important thing to note here is if there's an important item in here, it is recorder blocked, so it'll be sequential, and that'll give DarkFalz a little bit of added time bonus over Vincent, who has not found level 5 and that recorder there. The Vires are fairly reasonable HP here, so the bomb will work. Vincent, I think, will probably try and bomb up here. The compass inside of the enemy there indicates that there won't be a drop in that room. This room, however, has a corner drop in Vanilla 2 in the top right corner. I believe it's a bomb drop right before the Dodongo in Vanilla.
It'll be right there.
Well, no sequential important item, but still a useful item in the first 15 minutes of the seed. It's Magical Boomerang in 6.
Favorite item.
So we'll be able to stun some stuff up, which is always nice. Especially with the Overworld enemy set as it is, that means Moblins and Lionels will be in dungeons, so you will not have Darknuts and Wizrobes down there that would be immune to the Boomerang hit. Instead, both of those enemies that did roll down into the dungeons will be stunnable. So we know the old man is not beyond that like room, and this is a ladder block of potentially an item. I think Vincent will try and clear it just to confirm it's either the item or it isn't. If it's the latter, we got big problems. Looks like it's going to be either through that key door that he couldn't get through directly, or it's going to be in the southwest corner of this level 2, so we'll see if there's a way in from the side. Might have been a shutter door with some combat in that room earlier. It's not too severe combat in this level 2, though. I mean, you got only one thing throwing projectiles at you, so kill that off, and then you just have to be patient with the rest of the stuff, knocking you back and forth into the wall. DarkFalz manages to get through the room on Beep strategy there, and will bomb the walls since he has a bomb pack on the floor. And Vincent's going to have to survive 3 blue Guria to determine whether or not this item in level 2 is in this room, or if he's going to have to really fight for it.
That is the book, and if I'm Vincent right now, I'm not feeling too bad about finding that, because that does double as an atlas in this seed, and will give Vincent all of the dungeon maps.
Yeah, we'll see if Vincent heads back to that ladder spot. He does not have it at the moment. Oh man, DarkFalz made it back to the Triforce room, or right before the Triforce room, but unfortunately took a death to the Lionels. Given its proximity to level 5, I mean, level 5's a little ways away, but it's only about 5 screens away. Could opt just to come back here with the flute later.
Vincent, that's at 6 hearts, knows he can pick up the ladder right away and will not be, you won't have to tell him twice to pick it up. Oh. The fire keys rolled up to 1 HP. That's always a pain.
At least the regular ones are down, so if you have enough bombs, you go ahead and clear that room and maybe knock it down to just 1 Vire in case you have to come back through with bombs. Oh, you gotta walk around this room. That's not nice.
Unfortunately, that's going to happen. Chat mentioning that might be it might be a little frustrating for him to see the ladder shortly after this, as we do see the coast item. Vincent opting for the world raft to pick it up. We've got the raft.
Yeah, I like this by DarkFalz. He's not going to mess around with these red Lionels. He takes a bunch of them out with bombs so that he can just guarantee his Triforce. Sometimes we try and hold on to those resources and use them on the overworld bomb spots, and we end up dying and having to go back again. So just take care of it, get out of that dungeon, move on to the next one, and you can probably pick up a bomb drop somewhere on the overworld or even a shop later.
Absolutely, it's a nice play there by DarkFalz as he finds Mags northeast of start.
I've got a lot of health out of dungeons already, so there's a decent enough chance that we'll be able to at least check that if it's close enough to something else. And with it being so close to level 6, I think it's within reason to check that before going to 9 at least. Vincent found that the first raft spot was not what he was looking for. So either Vanilla 4 has something, or it's not going to be a raft that blocks our progression at all this seed, as we can have more than 1 dungeon blocked by a overall progression item.
Right, up to 7 in actual first quest. I believe it could go up to the, well, not the maximum of 9, but I don't know the math in this.
The odds are well against it. I think the most I've ever seen blocked is 6 dungeons.
That's still quite impressive.
Yeah, it's never fun, but in that specific situation, the white sword item is typically one of your progression items, just to help move you along. So, don't think we'll see that in this seed, though. I think we might be in store for a 2, maybe a 3 block dungeon situation at most.
DarkFalz going the other way from the ladder check. I love to play for the overworld exploration, but that ladder's still there, and well, so far it hasn't given Vincent anything major. But who knows when that's going to change.
DarkFalz has to wait for the Wizrobe to stop camping the doorway there. Gets the knowledge that level 1 isn't anything important, is going to move on. We'll see if he goes into the desert. His level 9 is 61 rooms, so that's actually somewhat important information. It's the second Overworld block dungeon, so the raft is required. Although with the latter being the white sword item, I think it's only a matter of time before DarkFalz figures that whole scenario out. Speaking of DarkFalz, he's in level 1.
One, always one that you love to find if you're a runner. 2 items. One of the smaller dungeons in Z1R. Why not dig this?
Yep, already has a key drop in this dungeon, so that's really helpful. A little bit surprised he didn't take the bop there off of the Moldorm to be able to potentially get a force bomb, but gets a second key at least from that room, so he can make some decisions on some of these key doors. And it looks like level 1 isn't super linear, at least at the start, as we've been able to kind of work our way around at least a couple of these doors. And, well, I thought for a second we might have a staircase, but we do not.
Oh, maze room, giving us a few jokes.
And now we see on Vincent's side that it is a somewhat linear level 1 once you get going north. But we know it's not segmented, so this will be our staircase item, and it's a floor heart, so that's also useful. And we have all 3 of our overworld blocking items, actually all 4 of them known, as the ladder can also block a dungeon.
A lot of knowledge here in the early going of this seat. 23 minutes in, and we've seen a pretty big number of dungeons here.
So DarkFalz is going to check this. Is not going to know that he's likely to be able to bomb up in this room. So it's just a question of where he goes now. I think there's a southern door that is key locked in that V column. So probably going to check that first. Surprisingly, no early map, though. That's usually a trademark of level 1. Well, this could be an item underneath this Dig Dogger, since it does drop in level 1. Probably get the boomerang out here in a moment to be able to stun up all the mini Dig Doggers if there's a bunch of them. There's only one, but knows that he can just stun lock it to death. So takes care of it and gets the map, so now knows where he can go in this one.
Heck of a time for the map as well.
Yeah, Fred made it a little bit more accessible in early dungeons, so it's a bit interesting that locked behind that key door. I think it's because the floor heart in this dungeon ended up spawning in one of the early rooms. It spawned in the room with the staircase, so I think that eats it. And then the other thing it did is it forced it under a boss, which tends not to happen as much, so it really sent it into a weird spot because presumably this heart container that was in this room earlier.
Can I just mention how disgusting that room is that Vincent just got taken down in?
Oh, it's fun.
Fun. That's an interesting definition of fun there. And DarkFalz is probably not going to agree with your definition of fun there, as he's ladder blocked.
Maybe. I didn't see if Vincent ended up opening either key door, so there's a chance that this room could either drop the item or it could be off to the left. DarkFalz does make a reasonable decision here, though. He decides to leave the room with half of the blue Lionels down, so if he ends up dying in this room by chance, he will not have to re-clear all of them like that. Now he only has to clear 4.
Anything, that's just timing right there.
Well, that's just knowing how deadly that room could be, or how fun that could be, and making sure that you don't leave yourself in a position where you have to re-clear the entire room again. We'll see if Vincent makes that decision, or if he just tries to get through this room. With the ladder, you might just opt into avoiding this room and hoping it doesn't have anything, and you can come back to it if you can't find the item beyond this key door. Looks like he is determined to kill it, though, so Hopefully it doesn't take too long, as it will start to eat up some time if he dies again in this room. He almost did, but some iframes saved him. So DarkFalz is now going to start bombing some of these Lionels, which is a good idea. And unfortunately, Vincent goes down again. White sword was picked up on the floor, but DarkFalz doesn't see it in his inventory. Might see it here momentarily, though.
So that does, well, no, that does indicate that Triforce will be beyond DarkFalz's grasp here. And I do believe he's seen the white sword now.
Yeah, maybe just was hoping that the Triforce would be obtainable. I don't blame him for bailing now, though. This is, again, a spot that you can come back to. A small surprise, I suppose, is I don't think he's checked the desert spots for flute blocks. I would keep trying to push my advantage. If I get an early flute out of a level that's not 1, 2, or 3, I want to see how many dungeons it could potentially block. So I might want to go to the desert, but to each their own, I suppose, as there might not be anything left underneath recorder blocks, and those spots may not even exist as it is mixed quest.
Timing there to save. I believe it wasn't it 23 rupees for door repair? I seem to have remembered that number.
You know, no recorder block on the start screen. So DarkFalz is going to continue going north. Unfortunately, we'll not see the ladder, as the ladder is not that direction.
Ladder's in fact at the river cave.
You know, Vincent opens the key door, but he's going to have to open that anyways, most likely, because he's still looking for the Triforce. It's not in this empty room, though.
Old man appreciates us. Too bad it's not mutual.
Now we're refunding our key that we spent to get up in this area, so if this room doesn't have the Triforce, it won't be that big a deal. Gotta be careful here. Probably gotta kill this and, you know, well, there's a heart. You can make your own decisions now, probably. You'll survive either way. Yep, there's the Triforce, so it was not to the room to the left. And Vincent will take a tied up Triforce count at this point.
Absolutely. That room to the left actually had the compass.
I see. I saw only Death Spiral from DarkFalz. I didn't actually see what was there, so... at least Vincent gets out of there without spending that key, then.
With all that, for those of us not familiar with the standings in this group, could you tell us about it, Fury?
To the best of my knowledge, Vincent is currently in the lead in this group. I believe it comes down to whoever wins this could either go 4-0 or go 3-1, potentially. If that's the case, then it will come down to time. And I believe Vincent has a reasonable margin on DarkFalz in terms of time. I think it's still a bit early to get into the specifics about exactly how much of a time difference it is, but once DarkFalz looks like he's got somewhat of a lead going to 9, I guess we'll discuss it, and maybe even beyond that with the tiebreaker for other spots, as there's 5 spots beyond the group winners. Maybe we'll talk about that as well.
Indeed, as we reach the halfway point, I believe, of this group stage here at SpeedGaming Live. DarkFalz fighting another taking at the waterfall. That's 9 hearts, and he's 1 away from being magical sword eligible. Not that I think he's going to look for it extensively. I mean, if it falls into his lap, as Vincent finds level 5 at the southern coast.
Yeah, this screen that DarkFalz is on is just a no. You You come back there well later. Wizrobes all over the White Sword Cave. Looks like DarkFalz is going to try and get over to the Power Bracelet spot near Vanilla Start. Maybe we'll get one of those exciting scenes where every single overworld blocker from First Quest blocks ends up being a dungeon blocker.
Money at the Southern Power Bracelet spot for DarkFalz, as he might be closing in on that ladder.
Yeah, he's got to survive to get there. There's still a couple more screens that'll be a bit annoying to get through.
And welcome into our Raiders from SpeedGaming 4. Welcome into the SpeedGaming Live group stage match between DarkFalz and Vincent_246. Furious K and Moonrisen Phoenix, what you hear on commentating.
And Vincent's going to clip across the tea room. We'll see that the Triforce is not too difficult to obtain here. He'll get it a little bit quicker than DarkFalz, just by virtue of having the white sword. We'll see how quickly he checks the spot that level 6 resides. May take him a little bit longer just to get there naturally, as he's cleared a lot of that area out. As DarkFalz is now going to see what the White Sword Cave has in store, and will definitely be happy to secure that, although probably figures to be a little bit behind to it. So with the ladder, that may indicate a play back to 1 for the Triforce. Otherwise, he's just going to check for mags at 10 hearts. Bit hopeful, probably. 20% chance, but you know what? If it was 10 hearts and he got it, then he has a 34-minute mags, roughly, and has quite a combat advantage.
He'll never say no to an early mags pickup.
Looks like Vincent made it straight into level 6. Had forgotten that he had the recorder spot right next to this as well, so that helps out. And meanwhile, DarkFalz is going to get the information on where level 2 is at, so we'll be able to start clearing up some of that. Probably will want to see that book, as it will give him more information about some of the larger dungeons left, as we do still have level 7 and level 8 outstanding, as well as 2 more dungeons on top of that. So it may not look like they're all that close, but in reality, both of these runners have almost equal information, just DarkFalz doesn't know about the book being in this dungeon, and Vincent doesn't know about the magic boomerang being in level 6.
Same time, more information that DarkFalz doesn't know is that the description letter is over at the Eastern Raft spot, while level 9 is the one behind the Western Raft spot.
Now Vincent's going to equal up the heart containers again. And knew that this was going to be a push block because of where that heart container was. He's a little bit deeper into the game, so the magic boomerang doesn't look as appealing, I'll say.
For DarkFalz as he continues to search for the item here in level 2.
And Vincent will be able to save a key depending on his route back. Question in chat about the wizard sprite from DarkFalz. In the program itself, you can play as Link, Zelda, and a whole lot of different mobs, whether it be enemy mobs or shopkeepers or old men, old women, which are in the prescription cave and your hints in dungeons and such. You can play as all those, as well as Trogdor. And then quite a few runners now have custom sprites as well, so you'll see a lot of sprite variants. In DarkFalz' case, because he's playing as a Wizrobe, the Wizrobes will change places with Link. And unfortunately, it ate his bombs, so DarkFalz is out of bombs in this dungeon. Could be a bit painful. Vincent, meanwhile, did get his Triforce out level 6 and made the exact same discovery on 10 hearts. Magical Sword will not be obtainable.
Not yet, at the very least.
Well, the dream is certainly still alive for the 14-heart Magical Sword. DarkFalz gets Y-forced a little bit, but I think he is really trying to farm some bombs in that room. So probably not a huge deal. Gonna go back there, probably kill them all again, hope to get a bomb drop, and maybe make some more progress in this level 2, as it's still a fairly small dungeon, and for all he knows, it could have bow, silvers, red ring, any key. Could have a lot of other items that are fairly significant towards making progress. Not that the book isn't significant. We are getting desert checks, though, by Vincent. Just a little bit of money so far. No dungeons in this desert, so we'll see if there's any further blocks. There's only a handful left in Death Mountain, I think, between the two runners and perhaps the grave.
That was one round of Guerrillas is all it took for DarkFalz to get all the bombs he needed. That was 2 packs.
Yeah, with the amount of health that DarkFalz has, I think he's going to cut some time out of this level 2, just because he was willing to clear this room. And with the White Sword, it goes a little bit quicker. So he'll save a handful of bombs and maybe even a key. I forget exactly what all was in the way of Vincent getting to that book. And to the top corner specifically to check to see if it was there at first.
Is that book, and DarkFalz is done with this level 2.
Yeah, with this overworld being as nasty as it is, I was going to say should probably go ahead and take the trip to the Fairy Fountain. I don't think you really need to make the play to flute to level 5 to check Magical Sword again. Probably can hold off for a little while on that. Although he is walking down, probably just to burn some more stuff and check this southwest corner. Personally, my strategy is unless I'm going to level 9, I'm only checking every other heart container that I pick up. Otherwise, you start losing 3 or 4 minutes if it actually is 14 hearts. Just doesn't make enough sense to continually check, especially with White Sword in hand for both runners. It's far less important when you're only doubling your damage as opposed to quadrupling it.
I agree with you there, Fury. As Vincent picks up another bomb pack at 13 rupees, and oof, that you can see DarkFalz' reaction to that large secret. He could only hold 17 rupees and picks up a large secret that's for 100 rupees left on the floor.
Yeah, probably not the biggest steal, though, because we have medium secrets rolling up. He still has large secrets available on the board, I believe, at least one more. So, while not ideal, it's probably not going to hurt enough for him to really see the impact of it. I don't believe either runner has checked the second quest river spots yet, although Vincent is about to go that direction. So we'll see if they house a dungeon. There's only a handful of options left. First one's no good. It's just a vanilla hint shop. As we have full-on community hints, the shop prices for the hints will stay the same. Both of these spots open, but neither one ended up being a dungeon. In fact, they're both hint shops, so a little bit of trolling there by the game.
More jokes, huh?
Vincent probably going to go ahead and take care of the forgotten spot. It's not as forgotten in Mixed Quest as you definitely have to have the full complement of bombs to check Western Death Mountain.
A few overall block items as DarkFalz opts to buy a key there for 80 rupees. I can agree with that play.
Now, you know he's just trying to spawn the magical key at this point, so in level 3 we'll probably see the magical key in the first couple rooms. It is a rather segmented level 3, so there's always a chance that we'll see a lot of transport staircases here. It kind of looks more like a character of another language, so it's an interesting shape. And level 4 has also been found. I believe Vincent was either heading Graveside or towards Death Mountain last I checked, so probably somewhere over there. So that just leaves 2 of our larger dungeons left on the board, although they shouldn't be too big, as we have seen the map of 9 and there was only 3 holes there. With 3 blank rooms, that means that we have not enough rooms in that 9 shape to house all the staircases. Each staircase, of course, is going to take an empty spot in 7, 8, or 9's grid.
That means 75 total rooms in... Actually, no. I apologize, everybody. 69 rooms, rather.
It's 128 minus 61. So if we're really doing the math there, it's, I think, 67, so we'll split the difference between the two. But, again, there's staircases involved, so I think at most we'll probably be looking at about 60 rooms flat, maybe 58 or 59, depending on transports in 7 and 8 beyond the ones that are required. So shouldn't see too big of a level 7 or 8, unless 7 happens to be really small.
So I was actually calculating there the space at level 9 would take 61 rooms plus 6 staircases plus the 2 item rooms.
That's fair. Well, I couldn't Commentator's Curse the any key into this dungeon. Instead, we have the wand. It's just got to be careful with the wand fire, as it will be going with the book in hand. Now just hopeful that the Triforce isn't too difficult to get to, although he's already worked his way up to 5 keys, so even with as linear as this level 3 is, should be fairly okay as far as getting through it.
Old's voice there might have something to say about that.
Well, this is a perfect room to pick up the wand in, or have the wand for, I should say, as the bubbles will take the sword away. So it gets a little bit annoying to combat these pulls voice without the use of your sword. But with the wand in hand, you can still do 2 damage per hit. I think DarkFalz is probably going to be more interested in finding a potion shop than a dungeon coming up in the next handful of overworld checks, as he's been living on low health just about every single dungeon so far.
Managing quite well, though, even with that.
Looks like he's interested in heading over to this other segment now.
Hope you can find the Triforce in rather quick. Oh, well, that's not the Triforce, but he'll certainly like to see this.
Yep, so at his specific health and his knowledge at this point, this is a 50-50 for his sword upgrade. Still think you've got to keep on your route until you run out of things that you can clear on your route, and then you can make a recorder play into it, and it'll only cost you a handful of seconds at that point. So that's kind of what I expect DarkFalz to do, as we find the item in 4 is a different type of combat upgrade. This one's on the defensive side.
Absolutely do not complain if you're Vincent finding the red ring there. You'll love to see it. DarkFalz making the right direction to go south in the final segment of level 3, finding the Triforce at the back end. Level 3 complete for DarkFalz, level 4 complete for Vincent, as both of our runners take Triforces within seconds of each other.
All right, DarkFalz is going to take the recorder. Looks like this is level 2. So probably looking to flute to level 6 is where this is going. So yeah, I'm just going to make another check at the magical sword. 50-50 shot would help his combat even more. The answer is yes, 12 is enough. So it's at most the vanilla 12 hearts.
DarkFalz gotta be happy to find that.
And the reason why it makes sense now is you can just go back to where you were on your route. So why not go ahead and take the 20 or 30 seconds to go check it and then get back right on the route you were on by fleeting back to the dungeon just cleared. Both are going to find a door repair and shop within the next couple of screens, it looks like, as they're going to trade places. I think Vincent should find his level 3 here shortly. And DarkFalz, meanwhile, will be making progress towards level 4's location. And worth noting that both runners now have purchased a key, and DarkFalz also takes care of the bait, just in case that's required.
Now when a bait block cannon's going to come into play.
Well, that, and you have enemies in dungeons that can be persuaded with the bait.
True. Linos aren't attracted to it, if I remember correctly.
Luckily, both Moblins and Lionels rolled in. Alright, DarkFalz got to really be careful now. He does make it to this level 4, so he'll probably up an A at this point. Get his health refill and start checking some rooms in this dungeon. He has plenty of keys to make it to the red ring, so I don't think it'll take too awful long for him to get there. And we could opt into the early Triforce, but we don't have the bow. And we know that that's going to be either in level 4, 7, or 8 at this point. So skipping level 4 and digging 7 or 8 would be a bit of a gamble to me.
As DarkFalz goes right back in, I was about to say, I don't see him making that play.
No, if this was level 7 and you found a Triforce in the first room, it would make all the sense in the world to go ahead and locate level 4, where there's going to be fewer rooms to your item, or level 8, where there's 2 items, and you can just record it back after exploring those and check level 7 for your bow. At that point, you've got a huge dungeon in front of you, but since he was finding level 4 first, that obviously makes that the better decision to go right back in.
And it shouldn't take DarkFalz that long to find that red ring.
I think it's kind of in the middle-ish left of this upper portion.
I was about to say this was our bait block, but no, that's because DarkFalz is using the Wiz Road set that the shopkeepers have been altered a little bit.
And drops the bomb, thinking that he has the recorder the wand in hand. So, unfortunately, for where he's about to have to clear on the map, he's now down a bomb. But I think he is about to find his red ring. Speaking of finding things, it looks like Vincent may be on a route that leads him away from the location of the wand. So we're tied up on Triforces. Quite honestly, we're pretty much even on information, with the only real difference in the seed being that Vincent has gone to the coast and gotten his raft already. And DarkFalz has grabbed the wand out of the dungeon here, so he's... Vincent's about to find it anyway, so it's really just going to come down to the coast raft being the only major difference.
Another slightly minor difference is the fact that DarkFalz has his mag.
Yeah, Vincent may be able to obtain that, though, after leaving this dungeon, as I do believe the heart container is on the way to the Triforce room, so he'll be up to 12, and will be able to check if he wants to. I thought DarkFalz had just been on the screen recently. Nope, it's just money. Well, he can pick that up at least, since he's down to 111 rupees. Here comes the save, which takes you closer to the coast raft, so I think you will potentially be going there. No, looks like he's just going to start fluting again, so a bit of an interesting play there.
He's going to opt to explore our dear old Debt Mountain.
Well, at this point, we know that there are going to be some dungeons up here, as we've checked about every other spot that's not on Death Mountain, including Power Bracelet Raft and Recorder spots. And we checked the ladder spots on the River Road, which is technically just river locations. Looks like DarkFalz is actually just routing back in one at this point. Take care of his Triforce.
Can't argue about that play, quite frankly.
So Vincent's going to have the very, very slim time frame of a Triforce lead, I believe, over DarkFalz. DarkFalz does know where the compass is, so he could opt just to go grab that, confirm which room he has to clear. It might speed him up a little bit. Or he could just go straight up, as there's really not that many rooms left.
Looks like he's just going to choose to say, these Lionels don't have anything, let's go.
To answer the question, chat, the bow cannot be in level 9, the rest of the items can be. At this point, the odds are that silvers have a pretty good chance to be in level 9, as we know that one of our dungeon items is accounted for outside the dungeons that we have our information for already. We know the bow's got to be in 7 or 8. So it's simply a 50-50 at this point, I believe, for the silvers being in 9. Once again, we're tied up on Triforces. Now the only major difference is sword versus raft still. So right back to where we were a couple minutes ago.
Another thing I want to point out is that look at Vincent's rupee count.
Yeah, he hasn't seen all of the spots that DarkFalz has seen. I don't think he checked Recorder Lake, which is, I think, a reasonably sized secret. At least it is somewhere around here.
Right there, Fury. Forgotten that location of a large secret. Level 4 next for DarkFalz, but he's found absolutely everything in here. Oh, he's grinding for bombs.
Yeah, he's got himself in a bit of a tough spot with bombs. May have to find a bomb shop somewhere. It might have been one right here, under one of these Argos. Yeah, you just go ahead and take the 13 rupee for 4, and then you take the 13 rupee for 2 even. Just go ahead and confirm you can dig all of West Death Mountain, otherwise you're down a spot, which is what he's going to do, I guess, or down 2 spots if he bombs here. He might just be bombing this spot and going back down to buy bombs, which would also make sense.
And that also gave him the opportunity to buy 2 more packs. Why not?
In the meantime, Vincent finds the other large secret in the Deadwood, so 300 rupees worth of money when you can carry 255, but he was at 0 as opposed to DarkFalz, who I think was at like 235 plus when he got it, so he ate a bigger payday.
Well, the muggers tonight won't ask for much for dinner, at the very least.
Yep, as we kind of figured, I think this level 7's not very big. Looks like it rolled well down on the numbers. Level 8 could still be sizable. at first glance, it looks like it's about 19 or 20 rooms, so really, really small. It's even like level 4 small.
I counted 19 there, Fury, so nicely done.
Unfortunately, DarkFalz spending bombs, but that won't open. He's got to bomb down if he's going to do it. Well, if the old man's to the right, he had to take this staircase over. Instead, it's just a heart container, which with magical sword and red ring, it's actually not even worth the time to go get, so I don't blame him. Meanwhile, we have level 8's location. I heard, I think, a recorder playing at some point, so I don't know if he was transporting along the overworld or if this was a recorder block dungeon somewhere.
This wasn't a recorder block dungeon. I believe that's in the vicinity of Spectacle Rock.
So just over on the eastern side of Death Mountain. So it'll take DarkFalz a little time to get there. It looks like he's going to make the gamble to check level 8 out first and check level 7 out afterwards. Normally, I think that's a great play. I would argue against it, however, given the sizing of level 7, it means level 8 can still be a reasonable size, as we can tell by Vincent's screen. But he would have known that already. Based on the room count of 7. Although, to be fair, he has not seen 9, so that may play a bit of a factor, but I don't know, man. He's already seen a quarter of the rooms and he was only in there for 2 minutes. I think he just kind of take the chance that it's there. Maybe he'll take the chance that it's there once he clears the rest of this Western Death Mountain.
Fortunately, he's out of bombs right now, so that could cause problems.
I think you just try and record her back to, well, I guess you can kill these red wizrobes on this screen as well. They just keep going in and out of the dungeon, so that's an opportunity. The other chance he can take is to head up to the dungeon he just got, which was level 7, or this dungeon here and go to the bomb shop and pick up a pack. As he's got 100 rupees to play with here, so he's got enough money.
Back near the location of level 7, meanwhile.
And I think it's because there's also a spot that could still exist up here that he just ran out of bombs for. Doesn't want to leave this one spot on the board and have it be it. Keep in mind, he is looking for 2 dungeons still, as he has not picked up his raft from the coast. And so he does not know that level 9 is accounted for at the Vanilla 4 location. So level 8 appears to be about 33 rooms, so it's about the Vanilla 7 sizing. That is a useful bomb upgrade. It is a rather expensive one for the amount of bombs you get, but with these new gen level 9s, it seems like they love to be very linear. Even with as big as it is, I know that the smaller level 9s tend to be worse as far as being linear and through very snake-like paths. I still think you almost always like to see a bomb upgrade, though, before heading to level 9, based on the fact that it likes to do that these days. Alright, we have a segment here, so this could be interesting for Vincent. Could it be an item? It is. It's the silvers. So we are at that point now where the bow's either going to be in level 8 as well, or it's going to be in level 7. And that means we have the boomerang, the red candle, and the any key as the other items on board.
Vincent, you can see it on his face. He is quite happy to find those silvers before digging 9 for them.
We'll see if DarkFalz opts to go through this staircase right away. Looks like the answer is no. He's going to clear this room first. I think he'll end up getting the bad news in here. That's not the item he's looking for. And now with the Dodongos blocking him via the shutter door, DarkFalz will take this. It's going to go to this 3-off room. We saw Vincent try to bomb down into this area earlier. If this Dig Dogger is blocking the bow, that would be a very good find for DarkFalz. It's blocking at least a transport to the southern port, or it's the item. It is the item, it is the bow. 7's item is not useful. Or at least it's the any key at best.
Best indeed. DarkFalz, that's huge for him right now. I think Vincent might have passed this up.
Yeah, he skipped past this staircase, so there's a reasonable chance, as long as the Triforce isn't super deep in here, that Vincent may end up going to level 7 first. Like, if you're Vincent, you want the other item to be in the southern transport or something like that. You want it to be as far as possible so that when you come back through, you know that there's only those 3 rooms left that you can clear.
Question is, where is that Triforce?
Now, the other note to make is DarkFalz should make up time here on Vincent, just a little bit at a time. The advantage he'll have for a while still, I think, is Magical Sword. I think Vincent will only check that on the way to 9. However, DarkFalz does need to make it out of this dungeon with a decent amount of time left, as he will have to go get the raft and then make that discovery of level 9. I think he is about out of overworld spots. I don't know that I saw him get back up to the White Sword Cave, where he died to the blue Wizrobes earlier. And I don't know that he specifically has checked the river road that Vincent has checked.
DarkFalz has not checked the river road. Meanwhile, as you just mentioned there, he does need to get that raft and check one or both spots, depending on whether or not he wants that letter.
Well, I would say this. He's almost certainly going to check both spots based on how close the one is to his raft on the coast. You'd be silly to check level 4 of Videla before going there.
Also, can I just mention real quick that Fury was not Fury, but DarkFalz was literally 1 rupee away from that bomb upgrade.
Well, he's not there anymore. He's going to pick it up, so he's going to have to be careful once he finds these silvers. And he won't be missing them based on the room they're in. They're literally 1 north here. Costing a little bit of time trying to get him diagonal with 1 bomb instead of just letting them eat the 1. But still, at the end of the day, gets it cleared, gets his silvers, knows that he is very nearly in go mode, as long as he knows that his raft is on the coast and he hasn't forgotten about it.
Level 8 was nothing short of critical for our runners here tonight.
It looks like DarkFalz left that key on the ground. That's a little bit of a concern at 4 keys. However, I don't think there's a ton of key issues going forward, as I now look over at Vincent and I see a whopping 10 keys in his inventory. So where is this try? Yeah, it feels like Vincent's getting a little turnaround in this dungeon. He's kind of going back into these rooms that he got shuttered in before, having to re-clear them again. I feel like the staircase has to be, this has to be the staircase to get down there that DarkFalz is at, so you gotta take this to be able to get to the southern segment. He'll go ahead and clean up these 3 rooms. And Vincent now realizes that he's cleared this room before for his item. So, not marking stairs has cost him a little bit of time. We'll see if it's enough time to really affect the outcome. Looks like at the current moment they're probably on pace to exit at the same time, but that's not exactly great news either.
There's also the fact that Vincent does need to get back 7.
He needs to get to 7 for the Triforce, and needs to be back in this level 8 to check that staircase path that he missed on the western side near the opening of this level 8.
Quick compass find on the other segment by DarkFalz, and he's going to beeline it for the Triforce. Can't say I blame him. Ticket to level 9 acquired by DarkFalz.
Yep, now just how much Overworld does he have left? And will he know that he is blocked by the raft?
Idiot recorder use. Let's see where that takes him. Back to, I believe that was level 4? I believe it was level 2. This is level 1, meanwhile. DarkFalz opting to check the river ladder spots.
Yeah, he's going to see these 2 hint shops back to back. I think he's still got to get up to the White Sword Cave to make sure that that's not level 9, and then that'll be the point where we know whether or not he is remember that his raft is on the coast. Because sometimes as a runner, you kind of forget about that. If he hasn't forgotten, he's got a little bit of a lead going to 9.
It's getting very much turned around in this level 8. Might be a little concerned about what's going on here.
I think he just had to check past this Triforce because he hadn't seen the second staircase item. Probably should finish clearing this 8. I think mathematically it's always a bad play to leave at the point he's at, as DarkFalz does get his raft, so he's got go mode.
All that's left is to explore those raft spots, and that'll be it. DarkFalz might not like what he sees here, which is a ladder. Opts not to even bother to look at it for more than a second.
Yeah, he has no money, so he can't buy a potion even if he wants it. Vincent does make the good mathematical play, so he will get his bow, almost certainly at this point.
DarkFalz, I believe, opting for the recorder check here in 2Q3.
That's fair. I forgot that he hadn't seen this spot yet, so you don't want to leave this spot outstanding. I believe he's now going to have to flute probably to level 6, although he's not picked the right screen to flute on.
Nope.
But I think it does alter your count.
Maybe? I honestly don't know about that one.
We all make that mistake that he just made. He's actually close enough to the raft spot here, so just take your health refill.
Absolutely. Can't argue with that one bit. Vincent, meanwhile, needing to go to level 7 to pick up his Triforce to get his ticket to 9. Level 9 is in the western raft spot.
Looks like Vincent's still got to make his way over towards this western Death Mountain gotta be careful not to die.
And at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds, DarkFalz is our first of our runners into this gargantuan level 9.
Alright, so at this point I think it's relevant enough to talk about. If DarkFalz manages to hold on to his lead here and finish this seed off ahead of Vincent, the margin of victory for DarkFalz to clinch will be 584 seconds. So just under 10 minutes. So it's like 9 minutes and what, 44 seconds?
That is exactly right.
If he doesn't, then he's 3-1 with not an automatic bid in. However, if his time differential is still decent enough with the 3 victories he has, and it's, I think we consider minus values to be the better number in this case, the way we do it in this SpeedGaming Live tournament. If he's got a negative number at all, he should be in decent enough shape for one of the 5 spots that are wildcard spots. But it's obviously kind of important to get that primary spot, as you'd rather be the top seed going against somebody that's got the wildcard spot in, as presumably the people that beat their entire group out are going to be slightly stronger, though there's no real weak opponents in this.
Are still 11 groups in this tournament, 11 groups of 3, and as I've mentioned earlier, we are at the halfway point of this group stage. Many more matches to come to decide the other groups in this tournament. Oh, you love to hear this if you're DarkFalz. Now all that's left is really to find where Ganon is, as Vincent is going to gift our dear mugger tonight some dinner.
Yeah, Vincent is not going the correct direction in the 7, but it's no fault of his own. We've yet to find Ganon, and the reason why DarkFalz is still going around in these rooms is he's making sure there isn't another shutter door nearby, as that could very easily be Zelda. I believe Ganon is through the key door.
So as well. 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 12 seconds in. Here's our first, Triforce Guardian of the Seed. Shall we go with that option?
That's the evil princess in this case, trying to stop the Wizrobe. Doesn't do a good job, though, when the Wizrobe has a magical sword. So will Ganon be in this next room?
Good. DarkFalz be the first to find the kidnap. That will give him a 3-1 record and give him a pretty decent time differential in this race. I would imagine at this point.
Looks like Vincent's going to dig in this level 7, despite having the compass and go mode. The only way this pays off for him at this point is if Zelda is behind a pathway that requires like 6 or 7 keys. So it's a bit of a gamble. This should be the item here, and it is the red candle, so that's also in Vanilla Dungeon.
Which now confirms that the Any Key and the Wooden Boomerang are going to be our items in level 9.
Yep, and DarkFalz is clearing some of these easier combat rooms, not just because there are shutters in the way, but if you clean a room, there's always a chance that it could have your compass, and that would give him some information. I believe he's basically found the end of this segment, though, unless you can bomb up. Bombing right would not do much, because that would be Ganon's room, so you can either bomb up through Ganon's room, or we need to start looking for a completely different route as we are segmented off. Vincent now going the direction of the Triforce. We'll clear this room up, and he will find that it opens to a transport, and we'll be able to pick up his Triforce and head to 9.
Was this the final match of this group to determine who moves on to the top 16?
Yep, that's exactly where we're at. All the other matches in this group have finished. The one right before this, I think, was the last that Galen Merrick was in. I believe he was the third person in the group.
I see. I was wondering who was the other person in this group.
Running out of bombs, I suppose, is the other thing that could happen, although currently does not look like DarkFalz is tremendously threatened by that. Open some key doors now as we're still trying to find that shutter door. Alternatively, going back or going up here will both net him a chance at finding new territory. So, knowing he needs to find Zelda's room, he's going to go to the room that has more rooms adjacent to it first. Got bopped by the gel. That was pretty rude. And it looks like we have no way of progressing there. This bomb's a little bit interesting. It'll save him a little bit of time, but now he's down another bomb. This is the boomerang. That was the last thing he wanted to see.
So, DarkFalz' margin coming into level 9 was around the 6-minute mark.
Yep, he's going to have to make up a handful of minutes to be able to get that automatic berth into the round of 16.
Quick reminder, Vincent's margin right now stands at 9 minutes and 44 seconds ahead of DarkFalz. And to answer a question in chat, can the compass be in any room in this level 9? I believe the answer is yes.
Any room that's a drop room? Yep. DarkFalz has gotten himself a little turnaround. He's re-clearing rooms he's already cleared, so I'm getting a little bit concerned that maybe he hasn't mapped this 9 out very well.
I'm more concerned about Vincent's bomb count, and well, never mind that.
Like, this room will get DarkFalz down here again. There may have been a room that we could bomb into down here. Maybe that's what he's going for. He's already been in here.
Ganon sighting for Vincent _246 at 1 minute and 1 hour, 19 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's see how he does in the Ganon room.
Alright, DarkFalz back into Ganon's room, so he's I guess, going to check this one-off room down here, if he's going to bomb into it at all. He had a chance to bomb into it before. Nope, still just going to ignore that room. Is there maybe a staircase in this corridor that we didn't see? No. Yeah, DarkFalz is taking most of the staircases he has access to. He's just kind of skipping the same 2 rooms over and over again. It's kind of whittling away at his time. At least I was fairly certain this is the staircase he took to hear the roar of Ganon earlier. Hey, you can tell by his expression he's not marked much of this 9, because he's really kind of getting confused as to what's going on here. He's going to check the boomerang staircase again. So just going to have to make some decision with some bombs. I think it's got to be that room in the south.
Because this map of level 9 might be hurting DarkFalz' chances to make up that time differential.
He's back in this room again, but this time he needs the bombs, and he does get them. So he's going to start trying to bomb into that one room in the south, because I think that's got to be it if he's bombed all these walls, and it seems like his coverage hasn't been bad of the northern wall. I don't know, he's just... He has not tried to bomb in there at all. Alright, let's see if DarkFalz has another area that he hasn't bomb checked yet. That could also be the case. I want to say this is the same transport to get back over to where he was before. So is he going to try and bomb up in the slough room? That's about the only place I haven't seen him really bomb at, but I thought he bombed down and up. Yeah, he did. So if the bomb solution is up with Vincent up in the northeast corner, it should be his advantage. I would think if the bomb wall is in these, if it's this one off room down here, or if it's a staircase, but I think we've taken this one, then it'll be DarkFalz in the lead. Nope, this is the first time DarkFalz has taken this one. A lot of talk in chat about tracking 9. I don't know that you ever have to full track 9, but I definitely think it's of some merit to at least track the rooms that have a staircase in the dungeon. That way you have your staircases mapped out and you don't get turned around consistently by them. So I'm always an advocate of at least marking which staircase goes where.
Fully agree with you. That one, Fury.
Yeah, there's a key in that room, so we know that that's a transport or the any key. We're going to run through some of these keys now. But we are getting new access, and this is the key door gauntlet that Vincent was kind of rooting for earlier, but DarkFalz still has keys. He does not have many bombs, though, so if this doesn't open, it's trouble. Hell, he's still making progress, so now he'll need more bombs to drop, or he'll need it to be fairly open from here. That's not open, so now we're going to hope this is a transport for DarkFalz, because this will not drop an item.
Is that a staircase? Let's see what's here.
Control any key? Yes, sir.
Yep. DarkFalz thinking about picking it up, and opts to finally do so.
Alright. Should have an idea if there's a staircase back here, as we saw that key in the corner. It would be this room coming up next with the Patra, I believe.
One, and, well...
Yeah, I give up.
Still.
Oh, I see what he's going for. I guess that's fair, but at this point, I would have guessed it was the staircase. Yeah, Vince is, for the record, doing the exact same thing DarkFalz did, so this is kind of a lesson to both as to why you do probably want to mark your staircases and where they each go. Vincent does have some rooms left down here to look at.
Taking care of that patrol with relative ease. There's the staircase.
So pretty much we'll see a shutter door here at any time, I would think. As we've explored almost all of the northeast, all of the southeast, and all of the southwest. In theory, basically have to find Zelda here on this squadron.
Question is, where is she?
Well, at the moment, DarkFalz is hoping to find her within the next minute, and we'll have to hope that Vincent still gets kind of lost in the southern segment.
Is this it? Not quite yet.
No, but she's almost got to be north at this point.
Absolutely.
Or west and north somewhere. No? I have to check the map here in a moment, as now I'm starting to run out of rooms. I guess he hasn't seen the interior right here. The chute should be one room over to the right, I think.
Back in Ganon's room, opting to bomb north, just as DarkFalz did some time ago.
Yep. Zelda's in the center, actually, now that we take a good look at the map.
There are still 2 rooms, I believe, in the...
Oh, Dark, you bombed to the left! No! No! That's no good. We had the wall to the right where we didn't have information, we bombed left. Big oof. So I'm pretty sure, unless it's transport, that we're probably looking at needing to bomb to the right in one of those 2 or 3 rooms. So, unless she's in this west... If I guess there's a door west here, if you go south through this door, maybe she's there. Otherwise, she's in the middle.
Oh goodness, it's... Oh, nope, she is not in the west, she is in the center, indeed.
Alright, so will a magic staircase solve it, or are we going to need to go farm bombs? That is helpful. Also, she could be down here, actually. The thought did dawn on me that we haven't seen this yet.
Indeed, and there she is.
Okay, well, just Ganon in his own room. Never mind.
Why not, right? Get your GGs out, and everybody, for your winner here tonight. DarkFalz won an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Yeah, Vincent does have an eye on the race room based on his reaction, so knows now that his race is against the clock, as he now has to get in and finish within the next 8 minutes and change at this point.
Time Vincent needs to beat to qualify as group winner. Just one moment. That is 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Given what we know about the route, as the moment that Vincent takes that staircase, it'll be about 30 seconds, so we'll have to see exactly how long it takes Vincent to take that staircase to the southeast corner, as it's definitely that magic staircase. 100%. Might be a situation in which having bombs actually hurts Vincent. He might be able to explore the entire center of this level 9. Not much opening up there. Maybe to Vincent's advantage. Well, so much for that advantage. She's now going to have another couple of rooms that probably open up. No. Actually, this might just be another staircase into a staircase. Maybe this will go to the one room. Well, there's like one more room that's down in that segment, I believe. Instead, we're going to go further into the center, so I think Vincent will almost have the full tour of this level 9.
And a reminder to chat, indeed, the time Vincent needs to tie and or beat to win the group is 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds. That is exactly right.
Yeah, the other thing to note is even if DarkFalz doesn't win the group, every second that Vincent spends in this 9 will help to some degree.
That tiebreaker number is a rather massive one indeed.
I think at most, though, we're not looking at a lot of time left here, probably a couple minutes at most, because there's fairly open rooms to the rooms that are up here left to be checked. So even if he goes through them all before taking the staircase, I still think it's probably not quite enough. It'd probably have to be a death, which at 12 hearts and red ring is pretty hard to envision. I think you've got to check the this western middle part first, though. He's got to go left of here and make sure this isn't it. And once he sees he can't bomb down here, he'll have to go down, and then at that point he should probably go through the staircase, because that'll eliminate all the rooms over here, and he'll know it's magic to get there. Yeah, so at this point, probably not looking at a group win for DarkFalz, but a group win for Vincent. We'll see what the time difference ends up being, though.
Is the open door, and with that, get your GGs out in chat for our runner-up here tonight, Vincent_246 with a final race time.gg time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 22 seconds. However, as FurySK just mentioned, the tiebreaker situation, Vincent_246 is your group winner. We can see Vincent's reaction. I believe he's found out the good news already.
Yep, most likely. And we have the winner of the war, but perhaps not the battle tonight. Vincent, congratulations on your advancement into the round of 16, and why don't you talk to us about that seed?
Oh boy, that's Zelda. I was not expecting Zelda to be in her room. And I felt really good about, at the start of the seed, I was like, I have to start using a little bit of my not normal methods, which is one of the things I don't normally do is bombing bomb droppers. I have a bad habit of not doing that. So when I went into that level 2, I was like, alright, I need to clear these rooms. Greenish drop bombs like crazy. I have Gibdos. Should be able to clear that. Other than that, after finding the map, the book, that felt really good. Also, getting 6 hearts to be able to pick up that letter, also feeling pretty good too.
Yeah, I think the advantages in this was DarkFalz, I guess, in level 8. First item, the bow, through that transport staircase off the start. That gave him a little bit of a time advantage. I think he went back to start and then cleared all the way back to the transport to get the Triforce, then went back in again to go get the bow. So that probably cost you a few minutes there.
Yeah, also getting wall mastered, which felt really bad.
Yeah, and then let me think. What else kind of slowed you down? I guess you saw slightly more of 2, and you had White Sword for the majority of the late game, if not the entirety of it, whereas DarkFalz at about the 40-minute mark went for Magical Sword at 12 hearts. We don't know if it was 11 or 12, but it was obtainable at 12.
Yeah, I was like, I was right next to Magical Sword. I had 10 hearts. I had 6 next to Magical Swords. So I was like, I'm just going to take it once, but I'm not going to take another stab at it. That Magical Sword could have helped a little bit, but I had plenty of money for my silvers. So I was like, I should be good. I watched the end of that. I was like, oh, I was getting low on money.
Yeah, the only reason I guess Magical Sword was even relevant in this one is because level 6 was flutable right next door to where the Magical Sword Cave was, and I think that's the reason why DarkFalz opted to look at. I think he looked at when he got 12 hearts after going to the Gravestone, which would have been level 3 with the wand. Just went ahead and fluted to level 6, checked on 12, got it fluted right back to where he just left at the grave, and started routing again. So with that level 6 location, it made it reasonable enough not to lose a ton of time and get some combat upgrades. So that's what he used to get a little bit of time over you gradually.
Okay. Yeah, other than that, I was like, the seat didn't really seem that bad, honestly. Wizardrobes on the Overworld, I actually kind of prefer them on the Overworld than the dungeons. Less headaches to deal with. And the Wizardrobes weren't really out in full force. There was a couple not very good spots, but mostly speaking of, there was one area where there was like 8 blue Wizardrobes, but managed to get around it, and then just the reappearing and disappearing orange Wizardrobes in the forest area. There was like 2 or 3, at least 2 of those screens I thought I saw.
Yeah, the White Sword Cave DarkFalz had the least fun with, the one above the waterfall.
Yeah, I don't think I really had too much issue. I know there was like a bunch of blue Wizardrobes up there, but I think at that time I had the red ring, so it wasn't too much of an issue.
Yeah, I think he had like 3 hearts, green tunic, and walked into that, and was like, well, this is just fun.
Ouch.
Yeah, so he didn't survive at that time. He got back there, had to clear those spots along with the river road to make sure level 9 wasn't there, because his last item get pre-9 was the raft on the coast to go check the raft spots for the prescription paper and level 9.
Yeah, I was like, hey, as soon as I saw that as soon as I picked up that letter, my first idea was I'm going to just check both ref spots and get that done and over with, so I don't have to worry about that later.
Yeah, again, the C was played pretty well by both of you. I think made pretty good progress through it. I think both of you probably have a spot in the round of 16. Would take a whole bunch of 30-minute plus differences in about every other group to eliminate DarkFalz from contention at this point, given how much of a margin he has. So hopefully we'll see some more Zelda 1 from both of you in the next round. Who knows? I don't even know if it's impossible for you two to match up, depending on how the seeding goes.
You think it's almost impossible for us to match up?
No, it's almost. It could be very well possible. I have no idea how exactly it's going to get seeded out yet. There's just too many variables going. We do have some potential for some more SGLIVE matches tomorrow for Zelda 1. Probably pending commentary for the earliest of those at 11:15. But there's also a whole lot of potential matches late, just kind of depends on how it all fits together on the schedule. And there is a weekly for the Rookie Rumble Flags that's going on tomorrow night. So anybody out there that wants to watch some more Zelda 1 randomizer action on SpeedGaming, there's plenty of that. And with us being in the SpeedGaming Live month, basically, here, there's going to be plenty of stuff going on tomorrow. I think they'll probably have to use 5 or 6 channels for a good chunk of the day to get all that action out there.
Like it's quite likely at this rate.
You know, it's a problem for Rick and the team to sort out, and I'm glad I'm not going to have to rack my brain as to how to get all these great matches on the air. So we'll leave that in his capable hands. Any final thoughts from you, Vincent, as far as this race goes, or thoughts so far, I guess, on the tournament before I let you go?
The flags here, I really like. I like a lot of the challenging aspects. Having to try and having more areas to search and having to find where your overworld block. That's the biggest thing, especially having the recorder and power bracelet. So vital in trying to find this stuff. And I want to thank you guys for doing commentating, and Smilefires for the tracking, and SG for chat, and everyone for sticking it around and enjoying the gameplay that DarkFalz and I had. And also a special thanks to DarkFalz for being my rival.
Yep, it's definitely a friendly rivalry at this point. Looks like you guys have had a handful of races these last couple tournaments, so good for competition, and good that you seem to be on good terms as well on the side. So happy to have those. It makes the racing a little bit more fun when you get a little competitive but friendly edge to it.
Yep, now I just owe DarkFalz a sub for him winning the race.
Yeah.
As DarkFalz seems to have pointed out there in chat, actually.
Yeah, well, we'll leave you two to sort that out. Moonrisen, thanks for jumping in. I know you had a little bit of a fun time before this, so you had to kind of come down from your roller coaster of a ride of a seed before this.
Nothing to it, Fury. Thank you for having me on commentary, sorry. And thank you for commentating with me here tonight. Also, thank you to Smilefires for tracking for us tonight. Much appreciated. I want to also thank Vincent_246 and DarkFalz for giving us quite the race. Congratulations, Vincent, on advancing to the top 16. And I also want to thank the SpeedGaming community, of course, for allowing us to restream our tournament on their channels. And I especially want to thank the viewers here tonight for sticking around for all of this doubleheader. Thank you for encouraging all of our runners. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. And while you're at it, why not give DarkFalz and Vincent a follow? They're great runners. They sure as heck deserve it.
Yep, could have said better myself, but on behalf of everyone here, I guess we'll say good night and hopefully see you tomorrow for more Zelda 1 randomizer action. And go ahead and check out all the other great content as part of this SpeedGaming Live month-long event as far as the online portion goes. So long, everyone.
Good night, everybody.